Hey there, everybody, and welcome to OutKick Bets, the show on this Tuesday, the 18th of January. I am your host, Kayla Canarum, and joining me over there in Alabama is my good buddy and friend, as always, Arky Shay. Arky, how's our Tuesday so far?
Let's hear it. Here we go, everybody. Good job, Rams, last night for looking like a real football team. I am excited. I am pumped. I like that the Keebler Elf is out of the playoffs. Good. He'll be out of the league in 2 years, so I'm excited about that. I'm happy. It's Tuesday, baby. Let's do some betting.
The Keebler Elf. Oh, my gosh.
I call him Keebler Kyler, so I like that.
All right, yes, that is where we start things today, where we talk about a bet last night and how our bets did. Starting with that Monday Night Football game, obviously, the Rams survive in advance to wrap up Super Wild Card Weekend in a 34-11 final from SoFi Stadium. Another game that was completely one-sided and dominated by the Rams all night. I'll be honest, heading into this game, I did not see it going this way. Poor Kyler Murray. That is not the performance you want to have as a young quarterback in your first playoff game. It was bad, like really bad. Like I felt bad with how bad it was. Bad. It was bad. He finished 19 of 34 for 137 yards and 2 interceptions. But Matthew Stafford, on the other hand, finally got his first playoff win, going just 13 of 17 for 202 yards and 2 touchdowns. The Rams will, of course, head to Tampa Bay next weekend to take on the Bucs, which should be a good one. And we'll touch on more of that in a second. But Arky, give us your thoughts on last night's game. Both of our bets hit last night in this one, so that makes us happy. But what were your thoughts?
Yeah, and if you follow me over on Twitter at Arky Shay, I had other bets that you could find as well, including under 6.5 rushing attempts for Kyler Murray, James Conner anytime touchdown. By the way, that was the only touchdown that Arizona scored last night, was to beat up James Conner. But yeah, this game was all over the place as far as going into it, what we thought it could be. We've seen these two teams look good against each other, look bad in stretches down the stretch. Both these teams were very capable, we thought, of winning this game and, more importantly, losing this game for their respective sides. And, you see it every year since he's been at Texas Tech for Cliff Kingsbury, the head coach of Arizona. Just the back end of the season, they just fall apart. And they lost 5 of the last 6 this season. They did similar numbers last year at Texas Tech. He's losing more than half of his games at the end of the season. There's just something about his coaching and his philosophy that tails off when the games get their hardest and most important. I really appreciate, as much as I like to make fun of the tiny man Kyler Murray, I really appreciated Matt Stafford being able to get that playoff win for the first time, because obviously he had been on such a doormat of a franchise in the Lions for so long. He was not going to get that opportunity very often. And the fact that everything said about him was that he's tough, but he gets injured. He's a stats quarterback. He's just not going to be clutch when it's time. I mean, he had 8 interceptions, as I say, I think in his last four games. So he had been kind of limping down the stretch. And then to look that good, only needing 17 pass attempts on the game, which was half of what you could have bet him over at FanDuel for the pass attempts on the game. I mean, that's a great credit effort to Sean McVay and crew and to Matt Stafford. That running game, that was a very, very good effort by the Rams. They got Tom Brady coming up, but for one night, it was really nicely done.
Yeah, they look scary in that game, but we will get a good one this weekend for sure. Speaking of, the divisional round is set, and it looks a little something like this. This Saturday at 4:30 Eastern, the Bengals will take on the Titans in Nashville. The Titans, as the 1 seed, of course, got that first round bye. Following that game will be the 49ers and Packers at 8:15 p.m. Eastern, live in what is sure to be a cold one from Lambeau. Cannot wait for that. On Sunday, in that first slot, will be the Rams at Tampa Bay at 3 Eastern, and closing out divisional weekend will be the one I am most nervous for, which of course is Bills versus Chiefs at 6:30 p.m. live from the greatest place in the NFL, Arrowhead Stadium. It is all happening, folks. We are so excited. Arky, which game are you most looking forward to this weekend?
I'm for the Titans and the Bengals. I mean, honestly, the return of King Henry. So do not underestimate what this team looks like with Derrick Henry and the difference that a guy like that makes. So this Tennessee team could be very dangerous if he's anywhere near healthy and ready to be what he looked like right before he got injured about 2 months ago.
These are going to be some great games. Really quickly, and obviously we'll get into this more in the coming days, but who are your picks coming out of these games? Give me 4.
Man, that's tough. I guess probably for just the win. I haven't really paid attention too much to the spread. I'm looking a little bit at the
just
movement.
Just the win.
I kind of like the Titans to win.
Yeah.
I kind of like the Bills to beat the Chiefs. I'm sorry about that one. Yeah, the Bills. The Bills are a pretty elite team right now. That's why that's such a premier matchup. But again, like it's Tuesday. I got plenty of time to sort of figure this out. It's hard to pick against Tom Brady in the playoffs, but I feel like I got to do it. I like Matt Stafford. I'm just going to root for him right now to get the win. Again, that's rooting interest right now.
Really?
What's the other game I'm missing?
49ers, Packers.
Oh, yeah, screw the 49ers and the Packers both. I hope they both tie and die, so that's what I hope for.
Well, I don't like those picks, but I'll take them. I'm going Titans, Chiefs, Bucks, Packers. And I really want a Packers-Chiefs Super Bowl, but I'll just take it one game at a time.
All right, that's fair.
Okay. Let's head into our game of the day. We were looking to some college basketball. All of these lines are according to FanDuel Sportsbook. Iowa State Cyclones, who are 14-3, 2-3 in conference play, will visit the number 18 Texas Tech Red Raiders. Oh, Iowa State, of course, is number 15 right now. Red Raiders are 13-4, 3-2 in conference play. Right now, Texas Tech is the 8-point favorite at home with a total sitting at 130.5. This will be a rematch from less than 2 weeks ago. In that game, the Cyclones walked away with the win at home in a low-scoring game, 51-47. However, this time they go on the road and are not favored in any capacity. Iowa State had recently experienced a rough patch, having won their first 12 games of the season. They have now gone 2-3 in their last 5, 2 of which were also on the road to Oklahoma and 9th-ranked Kansas by just 1 point. Their other loss was to number 1 Baylor on January 1st at the time, so I think we could cut these guys a little bit of slack here, but I digress. They are coming off a win over Texas, who is currently ranked sitting at number 21 right now. As for the Red Raiders, they are looking to pick up their 5th straight home win and are 3-2 in their last 5, while their 4 losses on the season have been to Providence, number 5 Gonzaga, number 11 Iowa State, as previously mentioned, and most recently K-State. But their wins, on the other hand, are what's more impressive to me. They picked up the OT win over number 13 Tennessee, a win against a then number 6 Jayhawks team, which I love that for them, and perhaps the most impressive, a 65-62 win over then number 1 Baylor just last week. However, they only moved up 1 spot in the rankings. What is up with that? Arky, this should hopefully be a good one. How will you be playing this one tonight? And also, why isn't Texas Tech ranked higher?
Well, I mean, listen, the rankings are what the rankings are. They're wild. It's just people's opinion, right? There was a story a few weeks ago where someone ranked I think a team that lost to a team that ranked a team that lost above the team that just beat them because they literally said they didn't watch the game. So. Yeah, what do you want me to do, right? Like, are the people watching the games or not? For me, it doesn't really matter. At this point, like the Big 12 is the deepest league in college basketball. Mm-hmm. There is a lot of really high-end talent. The Big 10's pretty close, but I love the Big 12. The Big 12 is a lot of really fun and spectacular basketball and a lot of really good defense, too. And the fact that you mentioned that these two teams just played 13 days ago and had 98 total points between them in an absolute dogfight at Ames, that was a fun game. We bet that game, remember, it was -4.
We did.
We both pushed on that game thanks to a last-second 3. Thank you for playing and getting us the push, you bunch of jerks at Texas Tech. But seriously, that Texas Tech defense is amazing. It's amazing at home. It's amazing on the road. Defense travels. Iowa State's, they're traveling this game. They've got a pretty darn good defense. Now, the Iowa State offense isn't great, and I get it, but neither is the Texas Tech offense. And Texas Tech did just get Terrence Shannon Jr. back, and that's big for them. He's their leading scorer. But they had him back Saturday, and they lost to Kansas State. So the fact that this is an 8-point line right now in favor of Texas Tech, I feel like I'm missing something. I've been Googling the whole internet for like the entire morning, trying to figure out what I'm missing, why this opened at 7.5 and is already up to 8. I don't get it. I think Iowa State is good enough to not only keep this game close, but even win this game. I mean, they are 7-1 against the spread as an underdog this season, and 5 of those games they won outright. Like, Texas Tech is nice because of their defense, and Coach Adams has done a phenomenal job this season. What a lot of people thought would be a transition year for them, but it hasn't been. they're pretty darn good defensively, and they're really, really talented. But when you don't have great shooting, when you struggle against teams like Kansas State, who are 9-7 on the season, even with your leading scorer, when it's literally just all about the defense, a semi-bad defensive night against a mediocre offense, who's somewhere in the 200s as far as Iowa State is concerned, scoring over 70 points a game, when they come in, they get a little warm, and you miss a couple of assignments, you could be in for bad times. So for me, the play is clear. You take the +8 for Iowa State tonight. They have the win against you before. Why would there be a 12, 13-point swing on the spread just because it changes the venue? There must be something I'm missing. Please DM me if I forgot something, just so I don't make this bet final in just a minute after the show's over. But I feel like I would put a significant portion of whatever percentage you want to put of your bankroll in this on a +8 tonight for Iowa State.
You literally took the words right out of my mouth. I literally had that, yes. Same thing. Right there with you, partner. And not only am I excited for this game because the Big 12 will always have a special place in my heart, but because I think it's going to be a really, really good game and hopefully closer than the spread suggests. Isaiah Brockingham leads the Cyclones in scoring, averaging 16.5 points a game next to the Red Raiders' Bryson Williams, who's putting up around 12.4 a game. Look out for Gabe Kalsher, though, who was the leading scorer for Iowa State in their game against Texas, putting up a game-high 22 points with 6 threes. As a whole, the team shot 57% from the floor in their last game. Texas Tech is 9-8 against the spread, but are 5-6 against the spread when going in as the favorite. The Cyclones are 7-10 against the spread on the year and have gone 2-2 covering in games they went in as 8-point dogs. Head-to-head, though, the favorite is 5-1 against the spread in their last 6 meetings. Both teams have exceeded this total of 130 quite a bit this season in some high-scoring games. However, don't forget, in their last matchup, they only combined for 98 points, so that's kind of concerning. Obviously, the Red Raiders are favored by more than I would give them. Literally, I have this. Arky, what am I missing here? I will be taking the Cyclones at +8, but it feels like a trick. Does Vegas know something we don't? I don't know. I also like the over when it was 126.5 last night, but since it's changed, my mind has changed a bit because it's now at 130, so I'm going to stay away from the total. But give me the Cyclones. What are we missing?
Yeah, Terrence Shannon Jr. is a very good scorer for them. The leading scorer, obviously, and he's back. He averages like 14 points a game, just a shade under. They were down 7 with like 3 seconds to go against Iowa State before. Like, where's the drastic difference to go from a team that essentially lost by 7 to a team that's supposed to win by 8? I'm missing it. Please direct message me on the old social medias. I'm on Instagram too. You can find me in all of it. Just find me and tell me what I'm missing. I could be missing something big, but right now, it's Iowa State.
Let's hope the joke's not on us tonight. Guess we'll find out.
But find out quick.
Moving over to our spotlight matchup, we are staying in college basketball. We are looking at number 5, Baylor, who is 15-2, 3-2 in conference play, who will take a trip to West Virginia, taking on the Mountaineers, who are 13-3, 2-2 in conference play. Welcome to Big 12 Tuesday, apparently. I love it. Right now, Baylor is the 6.5-point favorite with a total at 138.5. Baylor has had a slight fall from grace and their number 1 spot in the rankings after dropping their last 2 games and also their first 2 losses of the season at home, no less, against number 19 Texas Tech and Oklahoma State. While they now sit at 5th, they will look to extend their perfect and 5-game road streak win. The Mountaineers have also dropped 2 of their last 5. One was to a then number 17 Texas, and most recently in their last game to number 9 Kansas. West Virginia has picked up 1 win over a ranked opponent, and that came on December 8th against a then number 15 UConn. Okay, Arky, the spread is shockingly less than our game of the day, which is surprising to me, but how will you be playing this one tonight from Morgantown, West Virginia?
Well, first of all, let's love on Bob Huggins and his tracksuits a little
love
bit. Okay?
Bob. Love Bob.
Let's send him a little love because this team is horrible offensively. Awful. Despicably bad offensively. So the way this team wins is obviously being pretty darn good defensively. And that's sort of a Bob Huggins trademark is they love to pressure, they love to trap, they love to make things really difficult on their opponents that way. Because offensively, if I get the numbers right, like in the 250s when it comes to shooting, 300s in the 253rd in shooting, 286 in field goal percentage, and 300th in free throw percentage. I don't know how you get 300th in free throw percentage. There's no one guarding you. So anyway, they're a bad offensive team. But tonight it's going to be about defenses, I think. Again, and Baylor's got themselves a pretty good defense as well. Now, Baylor's lost 2 in a row, and they haven't lost 3 straight games since March of 2019. So it's been a while since they've been sort of this cold. But they played a couple of good opponents, and West Virginia, despite being really bad offensively, is a pretty solid, strong opponent. Usually year in and year out, you get that from a Bob Huggins team. Anyway, I think this game is a great game also for us to learn some names of guys we haven't paid attention to a lot this season. Like, we haven't talked much about James Akinjo, who is hopefully going to play tonight. He's the leading scorer for Baylor. Now, you may remember in the pregame or the pre-show stuff, I had 2 bets on this game. I took one off because James Akinjo is going to be a game-time decision for Baylor. And that sort of scares me right now if I'm Baylor. So I took off the spread, and I got the total coming up in just a second. But you're going to look at Baylor dealing with guys like Chamwa Chachua, who is averaging 8 and 8. He's the leading rebounder on the team. They're going to be missing Jeremy Shohan, by the way. It looks like he'll be a game-time decision too. But he's another efficient scorer for them as well. Like, I think you are seriously flawed if you're thinking Baylor can cover the 6.5 if James Akinjo doesn't play. So you got to bank on James Akinjo being able to play tonight. I don't know that right now, so I'm going to wait a little bit longer to find out before I play the 6.5 because Baylor is 2-1 on the road as a 6.5 plus point favorite. But I will take the under 138.5 for tonight. So I feel pretty good that this game is really defensive. I think West Virginia is going to pressure a lot. I like the under tonight, but I'm going to wait before I look at the 6.5 because if there's no James Akinjo tonight, and I think he's going to try to tough it out, I don't know how you can love on Baylor tonight to be able to cover that kind of number. They can still win, but covering that number is going to be tough.
2 things. Can you repeat all of those names again?
Chamwa Chachua. You can look at Chamwa Chachua, who's a big forward for them.
Well done.
Bring up
Better you than me.
West Virginia has a player named Gabe Osabuyan, who's pretty good. You'll probably hear a lot from tonight too. So, yeah. So there's a few names there. Look, Baylor's pretty cool because Baylor's got like an all-world type roster. Like Shohan's from England. Chamwa Chachua, I think, is from Cameroon. They have a kid named Flo Bamba, who I think is from the Congo. And James Akinjo, he's from Oakland, the country of Oakland. So, they have a pretty all-worldly roster.
All came to Waco, Texas. Love it.
Yeah.
Question number 2. How many dress shirts do we think that Bob Huggins goes through in a season? Just destroys.
Oh, dress shirts?
Dress shirts.
Yeah, 0. I don't think he owns any dress shirts.
Well, isn't he the one that sweats through his shirts, or am I thinking of someone else?
Oh, no. He's more of a tracksuit kind of guy. Yeah, he's,
okay. Who am I thinking of? I don't know. All right. Disregard. Okay. Yes, by all accounts, this should be a layup for Baylor. No pun intended, but also pun intended. And no disrespect to the Mountaineers, even though they have only faced 3 ranked opponents this season and have gone 2-1 in those games. I just think they are the better basketball team. They are averaging Arky nearly 80 points a game compared to West Virginia's 69 points a game. And West Virginia didn't just lose to Kansas. They took a beating by a difference of 26 points. And that was to the 9th ranked team in the country when they now have the 5th ranked team coming in tonight. I could be totally wrong here, but that's just how I feel. The Bears have covered in 9 of their 17 games so far this season and have combined for this total in 12. The Mountaineers are 9-7 against the spread and have hit this total of 138.5 in 5 of their 16 games so far. I don't know what else there is to say here. I am not waiting to see who's in and out tonight. I am just going to be taking Baylor at -6.5 regardless. So that's where I'm heading into this one.
Yeah, I mean, Baylor's probably a better top-to-bottom team. Baylor 20th in the country in points allowed per game. But Bob Huggins is 39th in points allowed per game. They're both pretty good defensive teams. But there is a chance. If there's one team going to get loose on the other, it's probably Baylor.
Yeah, agree. All right, heading over to our quick hitters. Arky, what are you looking to in your quick hitter of the day?
Yeah, I'll be quick with this one. And I really, really hate this pick. I honestly do. But I'm here to make you guys money, too. So the Timberwolves are taking on my Knicks tonight. And it's in New York. and I know these two teams met before, and the Knicks got the win. But if you watched that game, and if you didn't, I understand you're one of the 400 million Americans who didn't watch that game. The Timberwolves literally had nobody on their roster that was a starting athlete in the NBA. Like, they did not have Karl Anthony Towns. They did not have Anthony Edwards. Michael Beasley was out in that game. Like, they just were a shell of themselves, and they still were pretty respectable in that game. Tonight, everybody back. Everybody back for the Timberwolves, and that's why they're a 3-point favorite, even going on the road against the Knicks. The Knicks just don't score. The Knicks are a solid defensive team. I love the fact that he could go play against his former team, does Tom Thibodeau, or coach against his former team, and Tom Thibodeau. Like, there's no Derrick Rose, not even a possibility for him. Kemba Walker's questionable. Screw that. He's never playing anyway. They don't, for some reason, they just don't let him play. So I'll be honest with you. Like, as much as I hate going against my Knicks, this is one of the few bets I will not personally play. And I always tell you that I make money when you make money because we're making the same one. Right. I cannot put the money against my team. But I'm telling you the smart play is to go against the Knicks -3 tonight. I'm telling you right now, you may go with me and just not put it against the Knicks because you love the Knicks too. But the smart money is on the T-Wolves to cover the 3 in Madison Square Garden tonight. All
right. I am also looking to the NBA where the Pistons, who are 10-32, we'll visit the Golden State Warriors, who are 31-12. Right now, Golden State is the 14.5-point favorite. What can I say other than there are only 2 NBA games on tonight, and Arky already took the other one. So here we are.
That's true. Everybody played on Martin Luther King Jr. today, right? Like, everybody's already off the roster.
Exactly. Slim pickings tonight, folks. It probably won't be pretty, but every game is fun to bet regardless. The Warriors sit at second in the West behind Phoenix, and the Pistons are second from the last in the East, again, only having won 10 games this season. Orlando is just right behind them with 8 wins on the year. So this will be the second meeting between these two teams this season. The first one took place on November 19th at Detroit in a 105-102 final that saw the Warriors barely get the win. The spread for that one was 2, and while this time around the number is fairly larger. In their last 3 meetings, the Warriors are 3-0 and also 3-0 against the spread. The Pistons have gone 5-5 in their last 5 games and are coming into the night with a loss to Phoenix, a game in which they lost by 27 points. In fact, in those 5 losses, they didn't just lose, they lost by an average of 28.2 points a game. Ouch. It is no secret that Golden State has struggled recently as well, having gone 4-6 in their last 10. They are coming into the night following a nasty loss to Minnesota, 119-99. The good news for Golden State is they should be getting Steph back after he was out with a hand injury, while Draymond Green, who leads the team in rebounds and assists, will remain out for at least the next 2 weeks. The Pistons, on the other hand, will be without Kelly Olynyk, Jeremy Grant, Frank Jackson, and Isaiah Livers. The Pistons are 6-14 against the spread in their last 20 games and are 1-5 against the spread in their last 6 games played on a Tuesday. Meanwhile, the Warriors are 2-6 against the spread in their last 8 games and 11-2 in their last 12 games when facing a Central Division opponent. The total has gone over in 4 of Golden State's last 6 games when facing a team from the Eastern Conference, and the total has gone over in 5 of the Pistons' last 6 games when playing a team from the West. However, I will just be taking the Warriors here at -14.5, assuming Curry will be in. This one has all the makings of being a tough watch, but I am hopeful the Warriors can cover nonetheless. So, give me the Warriors tonight at -14.5.
Ooh, that's a lot of digits to be given for the war. Okay, all right.
I know. They both haven't been playing great, but I mean, come on. Hopefully they put up more than they should. We'll see.
I appreciate the retort of "come on."
Come on.
Because I've used that 1,000 times in my life when people ask me things like, but seriously, come on.
Come on, Warriors, don't let me down. All right, last but not least, our games to look out for. Arky, what are you looking forward to?
I'm going to the National Hockey League of America, where the Carolina Hurricanes are going to Boston to take on the Bruins. And the Bruins, who are a bit of an interesting roster to pay attention to, they're kind of hot right now. They are a very hot team. I think they've won 8 out of 9, while Carolina has lost 2 out of the last 3. And I think that's why you're getting some real good value on the money line here tonight for Carolina. I'm going to go ahead and tell you now. I'm taking the Carolina Hurricanes money line +112, baby. And here's what I think is interesting about it is that Boston's hot now, yes. But Boston's not set up for sustained success like this. Like, this is way too good for them to be right now. Okay, they probably won't be this hot again the rest of the season, and it's going to come to an end at some point. I think it's going to come against a really good Carolina team. These are two of the four best defenses in the National Hockey League. As far as goals allowed per game, they're only separated by 0.2 of a goal allowed per game. So you're talking really, really, really tight margins there. Carolina's the number one defense, though, in the NHL when it comes to goals allowed per game. Also in the penalty kill percentage, they are really, really effective and good with that. They're also top 5 in the league when it comes to goals scored and shots. I mean, like, this is a team that's aggressive. They're good, and even though they lost 2 out of 3, you know what they say in basketball, right? Shooters shoot, right? Like, you get your way out of a shot. Offenses like this get themselves out of a slump when they're consistently dropping the biscuit in the basket, or at least attempting to. So I think Carolina tonight cools down the Brad Marchands of the world, the Taylor Halls of the world. They get after Tuukka Rask tonight and get a few goals in the net against him. I think tonight you'll see Carolina come back to the fold as a winning program after losing 2 of 3, and the Hurricanes can return to dominance. I think they're with the Metropolitan Division. So they shall winneth thy game. Plus 112 is the money line victory for you tonight. It's some plus money action over at FanDuel. So give me the Hurricanes to win outright. Plus 112 for the evening, y'all.
Love it. Side note that has nothing to do with sports. Do you drink coffee, Arky?
I do not drink coffee.
Wow. I'm surprised. A lot of energy over there today. Love it.
Well, it's mostly the cocaine, but yeah.
Oh my gosh. He's kidding. He's kidding.
Is he?
All right. Not even going to touch it. All right, the Jets. I am also staying in the NHL, by the way. The Jets, who are 17-12-5, will visit the Capitals, who are 21-9-9. Right now, Washington is the puck line favorite, with the total sitting at 6. The Caps currently sit at 6th in the Eastern Conference, which is a little uncharacteristic for them, while the Jets hold the 10th spot in the West. Granted, they have had 8 games postponed this season, including their one on Sunday against Edmonton. The Jets come into this one with a shutout win over Detroit last Thursday in a 3-0 final and have won 4 of their last 5. But keep in mind, their last 5 date back from now until December 19th. So that is wild. I don't know how the NHL plans to make all these games up, by the way, but I'm just glad I'm not the one in charge of it. Now looking at the Caps, they have had only 4 postponed games, their last one falling on January 4th. However, since they have dropped 4 of their last 5, 6 of their last 10, they're coming in off a loss to Vancouver on Sunday. They are, however, favored in this one tonight. Both of these clubs have 2 dominant players who lead their team in points, goals, and assists, and that would be Kyle Connor for the Jets and, of course, Alex Ovechkin for the Capitals. These 2 last faced off on December 17th in a 5-2 final that saw Washington come out on top. As far as the edge, that goes to the Caps. They are the better team in offense, defense, penalty kill, and discipline, while the Jets are strong on power play, faceoffs, and goaltending. Injuries could be a factor here. The Caps' only notable one is TJ Oshie, who is listed as day-to-day, while the Jets have 7 players currently out on COVID protocols, so something to keep in mind. As far as the trends, the home team is 13-3 in their last 16 meetings, while the favorite is 13-3 in their last 15, which would both obviously favor the Caps here. However, Washington has gone 1-5 in their last 6 games when going in as the home favorite. The Caps are also 1-4 in their last 5 when facing a Western Conference opponent. What to do? As far as the total of 6, the over is 5-0 in the Jets' last 5 games as the underdog and road underdog. Not only that, but the over has gone 22-8-1 in Washington and Winnipeg's last 31 meetings. Some of these stats, man, I don't know where they get them. All right, here is what I feel comfortable doing tonight in this one. The Caps, I'm going to take the Caps puck line and the over of 6. Risking it for the biscuit tonight in this one, but that's just what I'm going to do.
Okay. All right. A little bit of a blowout, so to speak, we're expecting tonight. Okay.
We'll see. These hockey ones are tricky. All right, let's take a look at our recap of the day. And our game of the day, Arky and I are both taking Iowa State +8. Really confused about that spread still. In our spotlight matchup, Arky is taking the under of 138.5, while I will be taking Baylor at -6.5 over West Virginia. And our quick hitters, Arky is taking the Timberwolves at -3. I am riding with Golden State at -14.5 and hoping they don't let me down. And last but not least, our games to look out for, Arky is riding that Hurricanes money line, and I will be taking the Caps puck line as well as the over of 6. And that is going to do it for us on this Tuesday, Arky.
How about that, huh? I need to go check my DM, see if I missed anything on the Iowa State spread. But yeah,
yes.
I'm excited for the day.
Check those DMs. And as always, don't forget to make your picks at fanduel.com/outkick. That is Arky Shay. I am Kayla Kinnairn. Best of luck in your betting, friends. And we will see you right back here tomorrow. Same place, same time. Have a good one.